The Metropolitan Police have called on Just Stop Oil to work with them rather than against them. Now, that's as the force revealed that policing the activists has cost them nearly 20 million quid.
Which is a lot of money. And that's besides the cost to civilians trying to go about their normal daily lives to work and elsewhere. It's led to large numbers of arrests, as we know, as protesters disrupt and block roads. So, should Just Stop Oil work with the police or not? Let's talk to former police officer Oliver Lawrence and Just Stop Oil spokesperson Indigo Rumbelow. Good to see you both this morning. Indigo, let's start with you. Would Just Stop Oil even entertain this idea?
Hello, guys. Hiya. Yes, it's always been very, very clear in all of our communications that we are willing to speak and we are willing to stop the disruption as soon as we get that statement from our government that they will end new oil and gas in order to protect life.
What would that statement have to say to justify you or to appease you in any way? What would that statement have to say?
So to completely wrap up Just Stop Oil, what we would have to see is a statement from the government saying that they were going to stop licensing new oil, gas and coal in the UK. So that's licensing consents and developments in the North Sea. And if you wanted to, if the police wanted to make our protest stop, we would stop if they will launch an investigation into people who are pursuing new oil and gas, which we know is going to lead to the deaths of millions of people around the world.
Oh, right. But this, in a sense, the police aren't taking a political side on this because that's not their role. But what they're saying is, can't you work together to minimise disruption, to be able to have your say without it costing the police and therefore us so much money?
Yeah, we're really asking the police to do their role, to think about fair integrity, diligence, impartiality, and I want them to lean into their duty to this country and begin to investigate the real criminals.
I think there are a lot of people watching who say, actually, it's the police's responsibility for us all, not just for looking after your interests. Well, we have a former police officer here as well, Oliver Lawrence. What do you think of that? Is there any way that the two sides could work together? Is it manageable in any way at all?
Listen, I'm sure Indigo's a lovely human being, but, you know, commentary like that is incredibly disingenuous. You know, the police's role is to respond to the needs and expectations of Londoners, to respond to needs for public safety issues. Just Stop Oil, since they started a number of months ago, have caused nothing but disruption, committed acts of criminality in our art galleries, at our sporting events. And this isn't about just stopping oil, this isn't about a meaningful statement. This is about causing disruption to everyday Londoners trying to get about their business, stopping tourists from getting around our wonderful city, just because they want to hear this meaningful statement. Now, you know, I was talking to a good friend and fellow police commentator the other day, Graham Wetton. We were talking about how impressed we've been with the Metropolitan Police's response since the new legislation has come into force in terms of arresting a number of Just Stop Oil protesters and hauling them before the courts and making them accountable for this behaviour. Protest is a fundamental right of all of us, but importantly it comes with responsibilities, and that's engaging with the Met, telling people when these protests are going to be happening so we can allow and manage them, and none of that is going on.
Yeah, you're not playing the game, Indigo.
Are you not hearing what I'm saying?
Yep. Yes.
Carry on, yeah.
Yeah, I just said to you that there are people, such as Rishi Sunak, who are pursuing new oil and gas in the middle of this climate crisis, knowing that it's going to lead to the deaths of millions of people. I'm asking this policeman, would he, if he were the man, choose to investigate this crime?
Well, hold on, that's not a crime, is it? I mean, that's your view, that's your opinion. It's not a crime. Therefore, we've got to look at what is happening now, which is Just Stop Oil protesters are committing crimes. You can protest without breaking the law. Why don't you do that?
So you're right that in court, so if I am to allege a crime, the Met Police or the police are supposed to investigate that, and then it's up to the court to decide if it's a crime or not. I'm asking you, this is my friend Cressy. She's in prison right now. Is she a real criminal?
It depends what she
I'm
did.
asking you, is Noah a real criminal? Is Ella a real criminal?
Just
All
looking
these
at nice
people are sitting
photographs
in
of people
prison
doesn't
right
mean
now
they didn't do
for
something that warranted their arrest.
down a road. And in the courtroom, they said to the judge, please investigate people who are pursuing new oil and gas. And judges in London, in our country, have been imprisoning these 3 young people, and they're sat now in prison as we're talking.
It's never going to work. The two different sides of the argument are never going to meet and come up with any workable conclusion, are they?
No, it's not going to work, and I think Indigo is demonstrating that quite sadly. You know, the Metropolitan Police and the senior leadership team want to actively engage. They want to be able to facilitate these protests. They want to be able to ensure that they can go ahead with as little disruption or manage disruption as possible for Londoners. But, you know, as Indigo and her colleagues, who seem to be hypnotised by the fact that the world is melting, seem to be far removed from reality. You see week in, week out, Twitter feeds and people making comments that police are lifting people just walking down the footpath. These are people that are being arrested for breaches of bail. They're people that are being arrested for breaches of the Public Order Act. These people, you know, are not just being arrested for walking down footpaths. These people are committing offences, and I would encourage Indigo and her colleagues to actively engage so they can get the messaging out and be more productive in society.
Well, look, we're going to leave it there because we don't want to disrupt any more of the programme.
Well, we don't really, but I just wanted to put one final point to Indigo, which is why Indigo, you raise points that some people will agree with, but why can't you, even in a discussion like this, sort of engage in a way that is going to be more meaningful to people than what you are doing, frankly?
If people like you use your platform well and use this television programme to get the truth out to people, which, you know, I'm very grateful for you having me on today, about the fact that we are in grave danger and there is a serious risk to life, then we wouldn't have to be doing these demonstrations. So I really thank you for having me on. And I really want people to think about this question of who the real criminals are, whether it really is Cressy, Ella and Noah, or whether it's people like Rishi Sunak who are happy to see their family go cold and hungry this Christmas and who are happy to pursue new oil and gas, knowing that it's going to lead to the deaths of millions of people.
OK, well, look, we have got to leave it there. Oliver, Indigo, thank you both very much indeed. Appreciate it.